We are in search of that last worthy car to be in the finals for this wonderful tournament. Hey everybody, I'm Brendan and we are in day 8 and we have a new set of 8 cars, but only one will advance. I wonder who it will be. You can cast your bets early on, but it's really hard to tell until we see him take to the track. Let's read off who we got here at the start in this first group. We got Dodge Viper, Lotus Emira, Dodge Concept, and the Lamborghini. So an interesting set of cars, a lot different than our last groups in the past video. And we'll see again how they manifest their racing. Dodge Viper on the near side taking a big lead so far, bounces through the transitions. Dodge Concept got caught up there for a second, I think was nudged forward and has some room. Oh, I think the Dodge Viper's hanging off the track. He rights himself and gets back on, but he's into second, barely gets over the hill. Here comes the Lotus Emira to take second. Already, we're raising that heart rate. Dodge Viper looked like he was cruising, everything was good, and all of a sudden, he's hanging off the spiral section and pretty high up. If he falls from there, it might hurt. Luckily, he finishes and at least picks up a couple points. Good to see that all cars are finishing. Let's send him out again. Dodge Concept there with the first 5 of the day on the far side. Not necessarily the fastest car compared to that Dodge Viper, but certainly the luckiest in that first run. Lamborghini now taking a big lead here, even on the outside turn, still holds the lead by a couple of lengths. Really knocked up the speed here, turns for a second, loses that speed, gives it away to the Dodge Viper. Now they're heading down the spiral. This time, Dodge Viper takes it much better. Big jump. Oh, almost spins over. Lamborghini's backwards and loses second and third. Process there for a second while it was about to go on. Lost second to the Emira as he turns, losing that speed, but also loses third as the Dodge Viper comes over. You'll see it here in its glory. Good finish, as the Dodge Concept comes over and passes by. And the Lamborghini's gonna suffer a tough loss there, going from first to last in the last few straights. Let's head to Heat 3. And they're all in the blocks. Lights are on, and we roll out. Far side there, the Lotus, trying to nose out to a lead early on. Dodge Viper catches up, and up by a length. Concept trying to get back into there. Lamborghini trying to stay within the game as well. But it's really the Viper to show off this time. How he's going to take to the back straight. It's been a struggle for him so far today. Turns around, is already backwards, already lost half his speed. Now he's zigging and zagging. Here comes the Lamborghini with a nudge to transfer some momentum. And the Viper has some room to work here. Big jump for him, and he'll stay flat. Lamborghini will get over and maintain enough speed for second. Not a fast time, though. The Viper only putting up a 15.3. Honestly, that's not very good. And with all that, things are looking good for the Viper with 2 5s, Concept with 5 and 2 2s. So he's still, well, he's in a dangerous position with the Lamborghini. The Lotus is basically out at this point. No, the Lotus is not out by any means. Really, it's the Lamborghini who's struggling the most with only 5 points, but the Lotus actually has 7. So the Lotus has a higher chance to qualify than even the Lamborghini, who seemed like a faster vehicle, though we'll see. Looks like the Concept falling behind here to 4th place. Viper bounces in. Lamborghini backwards, trying to find a lane at least to pass the Viper. Can't find it, too slow. Around the spiral they go. Lotus in 3rd place and followed by the Dodge Concept in 4th. Gets over the Viper. He's going to finish first. Lamborghini staying straight for second. Is that enough to move on? I believe it's enough to tie. Or maybe not. I don't think it's enough for any... Correct me on that. I think it is enough for a tie here. 3... and then 1. No, it is not. Lamborghini was had 5. Yeah, not the 7 going into this race. I got them confused. So definitely no tie. And you'll see the 2 that are advancing there. Concept, as well as the Viper, who is really the star of that show. We'll see if he can manage that in the finals. Next set of 4. Impala, Acura, Tesla, Nissan, Z. Right now it is our Impala being nice and fast, but the Nissan Z is about to take this race over on the inside line right here as he bounces into the transition. Tesla in second place, turns around, Nissan loses all control, knocks off the Tesla. Impala tries to find an inside line, nose block, and they're all lined up and barely moving. They do finally get into the spiral. Nissan's going to finish this one backwards, but way ahead of the pack, and it looks like the Tesla is knocked forward by the Impala, and the same thing, chain reaction. Look at these cars all messy here as they get through. They all skid through, and then you'll see in this replay how they all bunch up and start to hit into each other. Tesla can't right himself. Impala knocks into him. Chain reaction. You get a knock from the back. And a very slow finish time from the Nissan as well. Starting pretty weak, I'd say, in this group. Let's send him out once again. Near side Nissan Z, who was clearly the fastest in that first heat and already establishing himself as that in the second. Maybe he's the kind of car that might have a chance for that partial sweep, which we haven't seen yet in this entire tournament, and we're in day 8! Day 8, and we have yet to see it. And an individual sweep seems like far, far in the fantasy land. Nissan Z gets over. Impala is faster. Nissan Z is closer to the finish line. He will win that. 14.6 on the time clock. Not too bad. Acura is last. Tesla and Impala fill in those inner spots. Nissan slowed a little bit down in the last sector after the spiral, but was able to maintain the lead. Now he's got 2 5s on the board. Things are looking good for this Nissan. Heat 3. Let's watch him leave the gate. Nissan there in lane 2, already breaking out to a lead by a length and then 2 lengths as we get to that first turn. Around the inside, looking good. Tesla trying to hold with him, but Nissan is going to edge him out once again and has many lengths lead going to this back straight. Nice and straight this time. No mistakes so far. Around the spiral he goes. This could be a chance for a record. Maybe we see a sub 14 if he's a straight. Oh, terrible jump. He skids and the speed is gone. And that's enough for a 14. Well, let's let that camera chill. 14.5. 14.53. So a second off the record about. But not the worst time. And the Nissan's going to keep his streak going with 3. Cars have had have had a difficulty individually sweeping or even partial sweeping in this one because of the fact that it's so unpredictable when you get into that wide section. You have to do the spiral, you have to transition, then you have the hill, and usually even the best of racers we've seen will end up off the track. So we'll see if Nissan can maybe hold on this time and make the first partial sweep of this tournament. Nissan, well, he's not leading this time. Impala has a faster lane. Nissan has to gain a length to get back on it. He tries to. Impala goes for a big block and slots right in front of him, so it's going to be a struggle down the back straight. We have cars approaching from behind. Nissan looking for the lane to make it happen. Jumps over and almost finds it. He's cut off, and there will be no partial sweep in the group stages unless we have one of his finals. Impala faster out of the gate, and every lane that you start in has a different quirk to it, so it's hard for a car to be the fastest of the 4 in every starting lane that you have to cycle through in the heat stages. Obviously Nissan the favorite here in the finals, being the fastest and the most consistent, but an ever elusive partial sweep so far. We do have the Viper, though, who's also quite fast, and the Impala really starting to show up here. He's fast out of the gate in this one, too, so he loses some speed there, but maybe he's going to gain it back in this inner line he's about to take. He will. This is elite. Nissan staying neck and neck. Nissan brakes, and oh, he brakes in very nicely, but starts to turn around, and Impala actually shoves around on the outside, maybe through the spiral. No, falls behind. Nissan staying in there. Viper slowed down by the whole commotion of it. Big jumps for both of them. They skid around backwards, crosses first. Slow time, Viper moves through, and way in the back, the Dodge Concept, he's not gonna fare too well, I don't think, in this one. And there comes the Dodge Concept. Some T-Bird vibes there for sure. For any of you who don't remember, T-Bird was really the first car in a while to really stand out as a slow finisher and really held up the replay times as, well, he took his time getting into the end. So the replay would kind of be empty for a while, and then he'd show up cruising by, but he'd still usually finish, which was the interesting thing. So, slow cars sometimes on the track. They remember the T-Bird very well. A lot of commenters on that, if I remember correctly, recognizing him as the best of the slowest. And Nissan taking a big lead right here, bounces into the back straight, looking nice. Viper trying to keep him in his sights and maybe see him. Oh, Nissan skids for a second, goes sideways in the spiral. Viper's front of the outside lane. It actually does push past. What a move. Nissan's knocked over. The Dodge Concept won't even get there. The Impala will get over the hill, and they'll finish in that order. Oh, what a massive finish. This is going to put pressure on the Nissan with the Viper finishing in first there. Concept is stuck. Maybe if he didn't leave his hood open, he'd be a little more aerodynamic. Well, it's not my job to correct their models. Just my job to tell you what they're doing. Nissan's still in the lead by 1 point. You know, a lot can change here in these last two heats. Really, this heat's going to set up for that final one, so we'll see how they race here. Let's see if the Impala jumps out to a fast lead this time. Let's see if he can get himself back into it. I'd like to see it. I think it's possible. It's just going to be how he manages to accelerate out of some of these turns. He did not accelerate there, lost a lot of speed. Nissan and Viper now will contend for that first place. Nissan on the near side bounces in, very unsteady as usual. Viper finds the lane on the inside and gets past. And on the inside of the curve here, it's a line of the three. Blue, green, white. Big jump. Nissan almost jumps over him, but ends up upside down, and the Impala will push past, and so will the Concept. And the Nissan goes from first to possibly last, at least in this race last, but overall from first down to probably at least third. I said probably because I can't do the math that quickly. He got 0 points, though, so he's sticking with the 8. I think he still does have a chance to go out and do the Viper, but he'd need a lot of fortune. And the Viper has 12. Remember, the Nissan with 8. So the Viper needs to get last place or DNF, and the Nissan needs to win for things to go in the Nissan's favor. Otherwise, the Dodge Concept is way out of it. The Impala is over with, no, he's tied with the Nissan there with 8, so we need a similar situation. Right now, the Viper actually way in last place here, but will probably gain through the inside line here. That he does. Now he's in the lead. It's just going to be about mistakes. Impala looking for a line. Nissan trying that line around the Impala and does, and the outside line starts to block him a little bit. Gets in front. He's much in front. He needs some luck here. Needs luck here on the jump. Does he get any luck? No, he does not. Oh, I think the Impala... No, the Viper snapped there at the finish line, but still snapped into first place. I'd like to see how that occurred. We'll have to see this initial replay. The jump looks nice for all three of them. Not a lot of air time. But how did we get that snap at the end? Viper's going to take this, we see already. But look at this movement here. He goes for that block on the Nissan, and just something about the pressure points there on the rail sides. Snap the Viper across the finish line. But I think it still was first. Winner, yes, the Viper. 17 points, good way to finish. These are our 8 in the finals. Look at all of them. We remember how fast all 8 of them were. It's going to be a wonder. Subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll see you next time on Races and Fun.